Man, it's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch, man. In the description down below. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all subscribe to my second channel as well, too. Like I said, bro, I know when it, not talking to y'all YouTube, bro, talking to the chat, I know I got a whole lot of ops in here, and I know I got a whole lot of people that troll me in here. So I'm not gonna show y'all attention. I let them in the chat shop. I'm seeing the same names pop up. Oh, you ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna. It's trolls, man. You know what I'm saying? So I know you want my attention, bro, but you ain't gonna get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm very good at ignoring people, bro. So I see you, bro, but I'm not gonna say your name. So you can keep on trolling and trolling and trolling and trolling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna mention you, bro. Simple as that. You feel me? But we got 30 evil serial killers the FBI wants you to forget about. You know, if you want to go see videos like these right here, it is in the true crime playlist section. You know what I'm saying? This is the last video of the night, bro. So make sure y'all enjoy this, man. You feel me? But serial killers, man. Hey, man, I don't know what to say about them, bro. They messed up in the mind. You feel me? Just going around, you know, that right there, killers and serial killers, would separate them, and serial killers kill anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, any given time. And most of the serial killer victims, bro, is women and kids. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie, I ain't watched this documentary, but I heard about him. This killer clown named John Gacy. Like, he killed children. He lured children into his house, bro, because he dressed up as a clown, you know, and he lured little children into his house, bro. You feel me? And killed, like, I think, bro, killed like over 30-something children and buried the bodies under his house. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like, it's crazy, man, what these niggas be capable of, man.
Since the dawn of time,
you never know who you walking across. You never know who you walking across.
Neighborhoods, but there are some killers whose sheer scale of evil and capacity for murder makes other killers look like saints. These are the most evil serial killers of all time. Ramadan Abdel Rahim Mansour. In an Egyptian town, businesses across every street are selling products named after their local serial killer. Several restaurants had sandwiches named after him, and butchers named their lamb products too. Even tuk-tuk drivers called their services El Turbini, which is the nickname of Ramadan Abdel Rahim Mansour, the murderer of 32 children. Mansour rose through the ranks of a gang, but left organized crime for something far more sinister. He used his new skills for kidnapping and abduction and began raping and murdering children, all of which were between 10 and 14 years old. He would abduct street children.
Why are you naming stuff after this nigga like he a legend or something? Nigga naming freaking chickens and all. I don't know, bro. Niggas got a weird obsession for looking up the killers. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? What you naming stuff after this nigga for?
Trains and sometimes even dispose of them by chucking them on the tracks. And by comparison, Mansour is the nicest person on this list. Vasily Komarov. In Moscow, in the 1920s, a strange set of disappearances had the authorities tearing their hair out. People were getting murdered, and they had no idea who was doing it. But the bodies seemed to turn up the day after horses went to market, and a simple horse trader named Vasily Komarov was the prime suspect. So, authorities visited Komarov's stable and found more than horses there. Under a pile of hay was a sack containing a body that was ready for dumping. All of his victims were prospective buyers, who he lured to his stable, killed, and then dumped their remains. He killed 33 people in total, while in prison, he tried to end his own life on 3 occasions. He told reporters, "I've had a good time and don't want to live any longer." Ali Asghar Borujerdi. Never in my life have I seen a person who perpetrated such homicides and carnage. The words of the public prosecutor of Ali Asghar Borujerdi. Ever since he was a 14-year-old child, Asghar began raping and murdering adolescent boys. In the city of Baghdad,
this nigga right here, 14 years old, bro. Like, what? Niggas be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, nigga, you been fruity. You been fruity. You been busting dukes ever since you been 14 years old. This nigga been fruity. I never heard of that. I never heard of a nigga started young busting dukes. You know what I'm saying? Like, plenty of these fruity niggas, you know what I'm saying? They get older, they start busting dukes. But, nigga, you start busting dukes at the age of 14. This nigga been a duke buster.
He would capture these young boys and dispose of them so he would never get caught. But with the police hot on his tail, he moved to Iran. While in Iraq, his body count was 25. During his time in Iran, he added another 8. He was initially captured in 1933, but they had no evidence and he was released. In 1934, he was arrested again. He confessed. The guilt was finally eating him up inside, and he admitted to his wrongdoings. Later that year, he was hanged in front of Tehran Square. John Wayne Gacy.
This is what I was talking about, y'all, bro. Gacy. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. They got a documentary about this nigga, the killer clown nigga, bro. This nigga was crazy.
Doings. Later that year, he was hanged in front
John
of Tiananmen
Gacy.
Square. John Wayne Gacy. It's not often that executions cause so much jubilation, but for John Wayne Gacy, his final day on death row was a cause for celebration. In 1972, his first kill was of a male prostitute he picked up, where he simply satisfied his urges and got rid of the evidence. But his thirst for blood only deepened after this, and he was incredibly successful at disguising the dark side of his character. His career in politics was also thriving, and he even got a photo with Rosalind Carter, the wife of the then President Jimmy Carter.
Perhaps even more chilling is Gacy's fondness for entertaining children as a character he calls Pogo the Clown.
During his role, he even joked that clowns could get away with murder. In 1978, a man named Robert Priest was missing, and Gacy was the last known person to have seen him. The police issued a warrant to search his home. What they found was horrifying. They discovered the bodies of 29 boys and young men in or near Gacy's house. 4 others were found in the Des Plaines River nearby. He was a clown who brought anything but joy to the world. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy covered up his psychopathic tendencies well, but in many interviews, sometimes the mask slipped and his dark side was exposed.
I would like to be able to convey to you what that experience is like, but I won't be able to talk about that. Okay.
He was charming, articulate, and he evaded police questions multiple times. Thomas Weidiger, a professor of psychology at the University of Kentucky, said, "A common trait of all psychopaths is the ability to be deceptive, to lie with ease. The classic phrase in psychopathy literature is that they wear a mask of sanity." In the end, 28 murders were pinned on Bundy, and there is believed to be much more.
What?
He wore his mask too well. Bundy was taken to death row, but so many questions have been left unanswered.
He once said he wanted to be locked up and studied, so the world would never again see another one like him. But that didn't happen. He takes to his grave the mystery of his mind.
Later in this list, we'll be looking at a murderer so grotesque
Get it,
he
bro.
made Ted Bundy jealous.
I'm finna just go out here and just kill 28 women for no freaking reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, man, bro, I can't believe, bro, like Ted Bundy, I just can't believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what in your right mind make you do that, boy? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, what? Are you good, bro? I just don't understand it. Like, that's real demonic, bro. Like, demonic. And you just going out here just killing 28 innocent women for no reason. Y'all got the nerve to tell me that demons ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the nerve to tell me that demons ain't real. You feel me? Get the freak out of here. That's why I be trying to tell people, bro. If you don't control your mind, if your mind has control over you, nigga, you screwed. A nigga that can't control his mind, that's a dangerous nigga. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. You feel me? If your mind has control, if your mind has control over you, the things that you are thinking is gonna turn into reality. So if all you do is think about killing, everything that these folks done did came from the mind. They thought about killing, and then in reality, they couldn't take it no more. So it came from the mind, and then they got turned into reality. So everything that these niggas done did, it came from the mind at first.
Hernandez Leyva. I killed him because I had to. I don't know how to do anything.
A lot of y'all niggas wicked. A lot of y'all in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Wicked. You feel me? Wicked. Y'all be having some evil thoughts, man. If somebody, bro, if people just could see what you think about, bro, you'll be ashamed of yourself. What slide across your brain. You know what I'm saying? You know the crazy thing is, I told y'all this and I'm going to say it again. I called a mind. I used to work with a dude and it stuck with me when he said this. I was like, bro, I totally agree. He was like, the mind is the devil's playground. And what he meant by that is like, bro, thoughts be coming across a nigga mind, bro, and the nigga don't even think it. Have you ever had a thought that come across your mind? You're like, what the freak? Nigga, I didn't even think that. I wasn't even thinking it. It's like a voice just came in my head and said, do this, do this. I'm like, what the freak? Nigga started looking around like, is somebody just whispering in my ear? My nigga, why did this come across my mind? You feel me? But that's when you got to snatch that thought up and just be like, I rebuke you and stuff like that. That's why you got to move on. That's why you can't let your, but nigga, if the devil see that you just, you know what I'm saying? He gonna keep throwing thoughts at you. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And then if he see, because one thing the devil don't know how you think. He only know what you say. See, God know what you think and what you say. But the devil, he don't know what you think. He know what you say. So you by yourself, you just saying stuff like, he hear what you saying. So guess what? Okay, he's struggling with this. I'm gonna keep throwing it at him. Foof, 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 foof. Gonna keep throwing it at you, boy. Then that's when it's gonna come into reality right there. You gotta control your thoughts, bro. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, bro. One thing people gotta understand, bro, this is not real. People gotta understand, these are not real, bro. Nobody knows what you're thinking. It's not real. You feel me? So I understand, like, just forget about what you thought about. Move on and learn how to control your thoughts. Stop letting your thoughts become real reality, because in reality, it's not real. It's just thoughts, my boy. You start thinking, it's just thoughts.
Hernande Hernandez Leyva is one of Mexico's deadliest serial killers, and worse than a lot of their deadliest cartels. A physiological evaluation was conducted on him, and it was revealed that he would murder for his own amusement. He was arrested in 1982 and 1986, but during his arrest in 1999, he confessed to 100 killings. He was suspected of 137 murders in 5 southern Mexican states, but was only convicted of 33. So he either exaggerated the number of murders or simply lost count in the end. It's difficult to tell. Haj Mohammed Mesfewi. Most serial killers act alone. However, in this case, Haj Mohammed Mesfewi had a 70-year-old lady helping him with his crimes. In the late 1800s in Morocco, Mesfewi was a simple cobbler, but his extracurricular pastime was to lure young women to dinner, drug them, kill them, rob them, and then dispose of their bodies. It was eventually found that the bodies of 26 women were buried underneath his cobbling shop, and to make matters worse, another 10 more were found buried underneath another property owned by Mesfewi. To deal with his despicable crimes, Mesfewi was simply walled alive, where he was surrounded by walls and nothing else. His cries for help were heard for days, until eventually his screams stopped. Gennady Mikasevich. Gennady Mikasevich decided to volunteer at his local police force and help them out with a recent string of murders happening in his area. This provided the perfect cover, as You was the one doing the murders. I knew you was the one doing the murders. I already knew that was going to be said. String of murders happening in his area. This provided the perfect cover, as he was the murderer. 14 people were falsely imprisoned for his crimes. Mikasevich also anonymously sent a letter to a newspaper claiming to be patriots of Vitebsk who were killing lewd women, and also signed a letter from them beside one of his victims. But this was a fatal mistake. The authorities decided to get the handwriting of every single man in the area. To their credit, they went through 550,000 signatures, and they eventually realized it was the man helping them with their investigations. He was captured and convicted of killing 36 women, and when cooperating with the police, he started cracking a few jokes.
Она начала уставать, ножницы у нее выпали из сумки, когда она попалась. Кольнула я там ножницы. И вы... Наверное, щельная какая-то попалась, так и больше не было.
Serhiy Tkach. In 2005, the funeral of a murdered young girl took place in Ukraine. It was a difficult moment for her friends and family, but all the more horrifying when one of the girls noticed her friend's killer had attended the proceedings. This was Serhiy Tkach. The girl had not only just accused a friend of the family of murdering their friend, but he was also a police officer. But when the authorities dug deeper, they realized that his position as a police officer helped him on a killing spree. As a criminal investigator, he was skilled at avoiding detection and knew all of the tricks of the trade. In fact, 6 individuals were wrongfully imprisoned as a result of his misdeeds. Facing trial, he was convicted of the murder of 37 women, making him one of the Soviet Union and Ukraine.
You see, women that's watching me, do you see the pattern? Do you see the pattern in this? You see the pattern? You know what I'm saying? You are the main targets. What have you seen? Women and children. We're going on three serial killers now. 3 straight serial killers, women. That's what I be trying to tell y'all, man. When it come to women, bro, you know what I'm saying? You should not trust a dang thing. I'm not gonna cap. You know what I mean? Ubers, you shouldn't take Ubers. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't take Ubers. You shouldn't walk nowhere. Women, bro, especially. Like women, bro, like, my man's, you feel me? I told you, it pisses me off when I'm riding, bro, and I see women with headphones in. You know what I'm saying? I be like, bro, like, this girl is so clueless. I'm talking about be walking on the side of the road, got headphones in her ear, just looking down on her phone. Like, bro, you don't know who the freak is driving on this road. You so unaware of your surroundings. Nigga will never see you again. What the heck is wrong with you? Do you know the world that we live in? Do you know this world is more evil than good? And you got headphones in your ear and your head down on your phone. I'd be like, what?
Ukraine's worst serial killers, Moses Sitole. Moses Sitole was described as the...
What? Never a brother. Never a brother. You can't be fully a brother.
Killers.
This is white people-ish. I don't think you fully a brother.
Sithole. Moses Sithole was described as the Ted Bundy of
Never.
South Africa.
Never.
Maybe Ted Bundy was the American Moses Sithole.
He said
Sithole-
South Africa. Y'all see what I'm saying? He said South Africa, y'all. South Africa. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, he's not fully brother. I'm talking about brother, like American, like black American brother. You know what I mean? Those be the brothers right there. I thought this nigga was a brother. I'm like, what? Not a brother? What?
Crimes were much
people
worse.
is.
Sithole would approach victims by posing as a businessman and offering them employment. He even created a fictitious charitable organization. It was ironically named.
They're from
Youth
South
Against
Africa,
Human
so I'm like,
Abuse.
what?
He gave
Okay.
his victims a false sense of security.
Not fully a
After
brother.
Sithole was recognized as having been seen with one of the victims in August 1995, police quickly learned more about his fictitious business and prior rape conviction. He then identified himself as the murderer when he called journalist Tamsin de Beer. He provided de Beer with a phone number to call back after the third call. Police arrived at the payphone he was using right away, but it was already too late. Sithole contacted his brother-in-law in hopes of getting hold of a gun, but unbeknownst to Sithole, his in-law had brought the police with him. Police shot him twice, injuring him before capturing him, which is why he was on crutches in court. He was convicted of 38 murders, which brings us to our top 20. Tiago Henrique Gomez da Rocha, tell me I'm beautiful. These are the words Tiago Henrique Gomez da Rocha screamed at his victims before killing them. His method of killing was simple. He would ambush them and shout robbery. This would disorientate the victim, and they would probably remain still while he takes everything from them. Then he would blast them with a revolver and kill them there and then. One of the survivors told media outlets what he screamed at her when trying to kill her. You're looking at my face, you're looking at my eyes, for what? You are thinking that I'm beautiful. Tell me I'm beautiful. But not many of Gomez's targets have lived to tell the tale. In a 7-month spree, he managed to kill 39 people, all of which were either female, homeless, or cross-dressers. In 2016, he was sentenced to a measly 25 years, and only 35 years of age, he may well get to see freedom again.
Bro, did you just say this nigga was sentenced to 25 years for killing 39 people? This nigga's a full-blown terrorist. Nigga, I've heard of niggas that got more years with a drug charge. This nigga was sentenced to 25 years and killed 39 people.
9 people, all of which were either female, homeless, or cross-dressers. In 2016,
Niggas got life off of one body. You got niggas that got life off of one body, life, without the possibility of parole. This boy done killed 39 people, and this boy got 25 years. And that boy's the age of 35, 45, 55. This nigga's gonna be 60 years old when he get out. This nigga gonna be 60 years old.
he was sentenced to a measly 25 years, and only 35 years of age, he may well get to see freedom again.
This nigga gonna be
Raman
60
Ragal.
years.
In India, in the 1960s, the authorities were struggling
I can't
to get to the
believe
bottom of
that.
the
I
murder
just
of
cannot
at least
believe
56
that.
people. They had detained a man, but had nothing on him. They feared that they were at yet another loose end, until he asked for a chicken.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I always wanted to taste that. I ain't gonna cap. You know, when I was on Instagram, I ain't gonna lie, I used to see this fat nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap. Like I said, it's something about the mukbangs, bro. It's very cringy to me, but it's very satisfying. You know what I mean? That fat nigga was tearing that junk up. I was like, God, leave that junk look good. I'm sure you bite all of it. You know what I'm saying? Mukbangs is something I could never do. That junk is so cringy, but it's so satisfying. I'm like, look at this sloppy freak. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It's so cringy. I'm like, especially when I watch the mukbangs, bro, and them folks be like, oh my God, bro, I be cringing so bad. I ain't gonna cap. I cannot watch mukbangs like that where folks be in the mic and like, nigga, just eat. Nigga, what the frick is you doing that weird chewing for? Nigga, chewing like you weird or something. Nigga, just eat your food, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's one mukbanger I watch. Nigga from LA. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, bro, don't be cringy. No, he just eat his food, bro. Give reviews about the food, bro. Just be regular, bro. I don't like them folk that be doing the extra. I be, bro, you cringy as heck, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It make me cringe. Think about it, John.
Curry. Once they gave this man this classic Indian dish, he allowed them to ask any questions, and he had confessed to everything. Raghav was a brutal killer. He used the poverty of his home country to his advantage. In certain slums, people would have no choice but to sleep on the streets. Using a blunt object, he would bludgeon people to death while they tried to sleep, and managed to kill 41 people with this method.
This nigga killing niggas for sleeping. Golly, a nigga can't sleep no more. Golly, bro, you killing niggas because they sleeping?
He would bludgeon people to death while they tried to sleep.
Weird,
he managed
nigga.
to kill 41 people with this method. To make matters worse, homeless people were now terrified of sleeping on the streets.
Oh, heck yeah, we finna go sleep in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? If I heard about nigga, we sleeping in the bushes. Nigga sleep, nigga, next minute you know, nigga, you wake up to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Nigga confused when he wake up. What the freak am I? You feel me?
Misery. Ahmad Suraji, an Indonesian man named Ahmad Suraji, awoke from his slumber. He had just had a dream where his deceased father told him that he would gain superpowers if he killed 70 women.
These niggas be stupid, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I can't believe his niggas out here that actually exist like this. That boy say he gonna gain superpowers. You know what I mean? If he kills 70 women. I'm gonna tell you your superpower, right? Your superpower is gonna be how you disappear. You know what I mean? That's going to be your superpower. You was once a free man, now you in that cell. Disappear. You shall disappear. That's your superpower, disappear. You know what I mean? Disappearing. Yeah, so your father was right. Go out there and kill 70. You finna disappear. No, matter of fact, you ain't going in that cell, nigga. You finna get death. You gonna disappear, so yeah, you got a superpower. Your pops won't lie about that.
Where his deceased father told him that he would gain superpowers if he killed 70 women. By this time, Suraji was a sorcerer in the local area. He was mad enough to follow this supposed prophecy from his father, and he was respected enough that locals would visit his home for advice on mysticism and sorcery, including women. And the women were too embarrassed to tell people that they were visiting a sorcerer for advice too. Suraji would strangle his victims to death and, rather gruesomely, only bury them as far as their waists. Their heads were facing his house, which he believed gave him supernatural powers. But before Suraji could get to the magical number 70, a rickshaw driver who dropped one of the women to his home had tipped off the police. A search was made on the farm, and an ungodly amount of bodies was discovered. He astoundingly killed 42 women and was executed by firing squad. You
see what I said? I told you, executed by firing squad. What I say? I said, your magic gonna be disappear, right? You disappear. Look at him. It's magic. You know, never believe it's not shown. Nigga, disappear. He's nowhere near. He gone now. That nigga poop, he gone.
Wang Qiang.
That nigga was
One
right.
of China's most active murderers and rapists was Wang Qiang. He was raised at
killed 42, you ain't killed 70 though.
Isolated from society.
But if you disappear, you gone forever. It's over, brother. It's over.
And exacted retribution on the entire universe. He committed his first murder in January of 1995. After a while, he kept up his new interest, and the numbers just kept growing. He was finally apprehended and found guilty of 45 killings in 2003. He was sentenced to death in November of 2005. His motives were unknown and will stay with him to the grave. Mohammed Bijay. On March 18th, 2005,
whole lot of foreign niggas.
Sirens were blaring through the streets of Pakdasht in Iran. They were announcing the execution of Iran's most brutal killers and asked them to gather into the town square at 9 a.m. Mohammed Bijay's killing method was simple. He portrayed himself as a huntsman and would ask young boys to help him out on his trip. Once they were far out into the desert and on their own, the car would make a sudden halt. Then, Bijay would sexually abuse them and kill them afterward.
Another booty buster?
Would see Bijay carrying sacks with no idea of what was inside. Little did they know that he was the killer of at least 19 people. A crowd of 500 people gathered on that day, where Bijay was flogged 100 times, some of which were inflicted by members of the victims' families. Then he was hanged from a crane to set an example that this could never happen again. Alexander Pichushkin. For me, life without murder is like life without food. The words of Alexander Pichushkin, also known as the Chessboard Killer, in a local park in Moscow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. We never heard about none of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And that's why I be trying to tell y'all the world will never get overpopulated. Y'all see how many people, bro, we add all these people up, man. It's like, man, bro, we add all these people. We not even done, bro. We 11 minutes into the video. We add all these people up, man. We already at like, what, this nigga done killed 90. The nigga that we just reacted to, that we just seen, bro, killed 90 people alone. 90, 40, 45. Man, that's what I be saying, bro. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I think, bro, man, 300, man, thousands of people die every day, man. I ain't gonna lie. People dying, people dropping like flies out of.
He would ask people if they would like to play a game of chess. Through his game, he came across as very charming and struck up a friendship. After a friendly game of chess, he would offer them some vodka. They would drink this vodka in a spot in the park where his dog's grave was. The other person would then see that this is a lonely man and take him up on his offer. While they walked through a secluded part of the park, Alexander would take out a hammer or pipe and bludgeon them to death. He would then chuck their remains inside a sewer pit. He soon branched out with his victims. He invited a co-worker who agreed but was suspicious of him. She gave her son a slip with Alexander's name and his phone number, and while Alexander initially denied—
I know these niggas. Nigga, you just put in a movie clip of lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, nigga, did I just see Bow Wow? Nigga, did I just see lottery ticket up here?
She gave her son a slip with Alexander's name and his phone number.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it G with you. Bro, you right here, this is one movie I can't watch, bro. and not get mad. I ain't gonna lie. Grandma pisses me off. If it wasn't for Grandma, nobody would have knew that my boy, you know what I'm saying, won the lottery. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite movies of all time, Lottery Ticket. You feel me? But she had to go run her mouth to the whole neighborhood to tell everybody that her grandson won the lottery.
And while Alexander initially denied what happened after her disappearance, CCTV from the Moscow metro showed that he was with her at the time. Thankfully, he was sentenced to life in prison. Gary Ridgway. When hunting a killer on the loose, the FBI got unlikely assistance from a man named Ted Bundy, who was seemingly jealous and fascinated by another killer. Bundy said that the killer would return to a fresh grave, but Bundy's assistance was not enough. The person was killing sex workers and burying them near the Greenway River. These happened in the 80s and 90s, but it wasn't until DNA testing advances in the 2000s that they finally had a breakthrough. By testing a saliva sample in 1987 from a man named Gary Ridgway, they finally had their man. In his trial, he seemed incredibly normal. He even shed a tear in court.
You've made it difficult to live up to what I
Santa
believe,
Claus?
and it is what God says to do, and that's to forgive.
Right.
You are forgiven, sir.
Florisvaldo de Oliveira.
Sure, that's the hardest thing to do. I ain't gonna lie, forgive, bro. Oh my God. You know what I mean? That's what I said, man. That's the hardest thing to do, man, forgive. But you gotta do it, though. Gotta do it. You know, one of the most hardest things that I've read in the Bible is where God said, Jesus was speaking, right? Jesus said, when your enemy slaps you on the cheek, turn the other cheek. I said, Jesus, you're going to have to judge me. That's one command. That's one command I cannot follow. You know what I mean? I love Jesus. I love you, big dog. You know that. I love God. I love you. But if you think I'm finna let somebody slap my cheek, and I'm finna turn my other cheek, oh, and so that's one thing I'm like, okay, God, I will accept that. I'm not even trying to be, I will accept that judgment. You know what I mean? So when my day comes and I come before my Father, God, I'll accept that. Oh yeah, I'll accept that. I remember the day, right when he said, Jay, you did this, I understand. I get that. Because Jay ain't turning no other cheek.
Aldo de Oliveira, also known as Cababuno,
you know what I mean? I can do everything else you said, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, I can do everything else you said. All the commandments, everything else you said, I can do that. But if you think, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? I love you. But if you think, Jesus, I'm finna let somebody slap me on my cheek and I'm finna turn the other cheek here, nigga, okay, I eat it here. That's your day, man. Jesus, I'm like Peter. I'm Peter, Jesus. I'm Peter.
In Brazil, he would detain and arrest deadly criminals.
You ain't forgiving nobody, I don't care.
They would get away scot-free. So he left the police force and decided to enact his own brutal form of justice. Oliveira went after criminals in the area, but there was no innocent until proven guilty process given to them. If Oliveira was suspicious that you were a criminal, you were a dead man. The very act of having a tattoo, which usually symbolized that you were part of a gang, was enough to get you murdered. Eventually, he was captured and given 113 years.
Oh shoot, hold on, this nigga killing gang members? Yeah, it still ain't good. I ain't gonna lie to you. You still killing innocent people, but I ain't gonna count. You ain't doing a work of justice by doing that. I'm not gonna applaud you. Yeah, you're killing gang members, nigga. They're not doing nothing to you, my nigga.
Prison. However, he was released after 27 years in 2012, and that kind of proved his own point, that the Brazilian justice system wasn't harsh enough. But he did not enjoy freedom for too long. Shortly after being released, somebody shot him in cold blood. It was clear that despite being in prison for 27 years, his enemies still wanted revenge. Anatoly Onoprienko and Serhiy Rogozin were initially buddies who met at the gym. Soon their friendship grew, and they started murdering together. While robbing a house together, they realized that there were people inside. There was an entire family of 10 inside this home, and they decided to kill every single one of them, which included 8 children. Rogozin got out of the killing game, so Onoprienko went solo. He went to rob another car and found that 5 people were sleeping inside. Instead of just robbing another car, he killed every single person again.
See y'all, this is exactly why I be like, right after I'm done, bro, doing this video, I'm finna go check my house. This is exactly what I be saying, because you never know when death come knocking at your door. Whole time this family sleeping, this family of 8 freaking eating, bro, and this man just come in the middle of nowhere. You just never know, man. That's why I be saying, man, I'm just always alert, always looking at my surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Cause you just never know when that knock coming at your door. You never know when death coming. Death can come right now at this moment. You know, as I'm recording it, death can come right now. You know what I mean? Life's so unpredictable, bro. So you gotta stay 10 steps ahead, bro. This job, bro. You know what I mean?
To reporters, he said, "I have no regrets, no remorse, and I would do it again if I could." Andrei Chicatillo. I am a mistake of nature, a mad beast. When Andrei Chicatillo used this description of himself,
I'm a mistake of nature, a mad
it was
beast.
an insult to beasts everywhere. On the outside, he was a normal family man. However, he was soon fired from his role as a teacher for trying to molest the children. During his first murder, there was a witness. The mother of the young girl he killed reported him, but Chicatillo's wife provided him with an alibi. In fact, another suspect was tried and executed for this murder. But the next time around, he was much more careful. He would rape and mutilate his victims and often resort to cannibalism. He believed that his victims kept an imprint of his face on their eyes, so he always gouged them out. When facing his final verdict, he was kept in a cage like the animal he was. However, as I mentioned earlier, even animals and beasts are not so brutal. But even he was not despicable enough to make the top 10. William Unek. Most serial killers spend days and hours worth of planning, but not William Unek. He went on a violent rampage with an axe while working as a police officer in the Belgian Congo and killed 25 people. Afterward, in order to start a new life, he escaped to Tanganyika, which was occupied by the British. But having gotten away with these crimes, he did not stop there. He grabbed a gun and went on another rampage. This lasted longer than an hour, and he spent a 12-hour period randomly killing people.
12 hours?
36 people this time around, bringing his total death toll to 61. One of these people Unek killed
That's so
included
different, y'all. Just imagine nigga going on a 12-hour killing spree. 12 hours, y'all, just going around just killing niggas. That's a different level of demonic, boy. That's a different level of evil.
He was eventually captured, but his motives were unknown. Samuel Little.
He might just be the most prolific serial killer in U.S.
I think that's a brother. That's a brother, chat. Wow. This is a brother. It's an older brother, though. Wow. We have a brother up in the freaking top 10. Wow.
History.
Never thought I'd see the day, my brother. Never thought I'd see the day. I'm disappointed in you, boy.
78-year-old Samuel Little
78?
currently sits in a Texas jail cell where he now claims to have murdered more than 90 people in nearly half a century.
Sam Little was a drifter, and shoplifting was his main source of income. He would rob stores during the day, but during the night, he would let off some steam. This mainly involved strangling and murdering sex workers and drug addicts. And he was arrested for burglary and shoplifting, whereas most of his midnight murders went unnoticed. He spent 3 years in prison in the 1980s and was arrested again in 2012. He was convicted of 3 murders, which he fought in court until the bitter end. But when he was handed a life sentence and realized the jig was up, he decided to tell the authorities about every murder he committed. During his interview, he had crystal clear recollections of murders from decades ago.
So you basically roll her into a pretty big ditch that's got a bunch of...
Well, it wasn't a ditch, it was a slope.
Yang Xinhai. I have no desire to be part of society. Society is not my problem. These are the words of Yang Xinhai, China's most prolific serial killer. Xinhai spent a lot of time in and out of prison, but it was in the year 2000 that things really went off the wall. He would rob houses, and if there were people inside, he would kill them too. Sometimes he would kill a home containing as many as 10 people. He broke into 26 homes, committed 23 rapes, and managed to kill 67 people, and was getting away with it too. It was until police spotted a man acting suspiciously, and on a whim and through sheer instinct, they decided to question him. They realized that this man was wanted across 4 provinces and was China's most deadly serial killer. He was executed and doesn't have to worry about being part of society ever again. Katimar Shankaria. In 1952,
most of these niggas you know, I mean, most of these niggas is foreigners. You know, thank God these niggas ain't in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? We only seen certain niggas in the U.S. We only seen 3 United States niggas. Ted Bundy, Gacy, that nigga that we just seen, and we haven't seen Jeffrey Dahmer yet. It's like 4, but most of these niggas, this nigga's been ching chong, ping song, ping tong, ding dong. You know what I'm saying? These niggas been overseas. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So thank God them niggas is not walking the streets of the United States. Thank God.
Most beloved figure.
Made me think twice. Made me think, what? Mother Teresa? Mother Teresa's a freaking killer? What?
Katimar Shankaria. In 1952, India's most beloved figure, Mother Teresa, was opening up her first home for the dying.
Oh, okay. I'm finna say Mother Teresa. What? What?
Incidentally, that very year, one of India's most...
Alright, I'm sorry, YouTube, but I ain't gonna lie. This Randy Cat has been trolling me the whole stream, right? Spam one if I should ban him. I ain't gonna lie. We don't got enough people. I ain't gonna lie. Most of the people left, but Randy, man, you've been trolling me this whole stream, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You're kind of on my freaking radar now, man. You know, it don't end well for people like you, Randy. It don't end well for people like you. You know what I'm saying?
Serial killers Katimar Shankaria was also born.
And Crimson T, man. Don't argue with people like that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Crimson is like cares? Let him do what he do. Type of people like that, bro, ain't never gonna, you know, can't talk to people like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them just worry about your life, Crimson T. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing that God said, bro. You try to tell him what it is and he ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? Let him be, bro. You gotta let the nigga be. So if nigga wanna go to hell, let the nigga go to hell, man.
What is known about this person, and the victims did not.
I ain't finna keep repeating the same
had the same sudden fate.
Your
they
life.
found themselves casually walking down the street, then a sharp thud would hit them underneath their ear. Shankaria stunned them with a hammer and continued the job using this tool. Using this simple piece of hardware, he managed to kill at least 70 people in the space of a year. Thankfully, he was captured before being hanged. His last words were, "I have murdered in vain. Nobody should become like me." Pedro Rodriguez Filo.
Look at him. Pedro Rodriguez Filo. You know what I'm saying?
In vain. Nobody should become like me. Pedro Rodriguez Filo. Pedro Rodriguez Filo was a brutal killer, but rather than satisfying some psychosexual desire like many on this list, his main motivations were vengeance and justice. He was nicknamed the Brazilian Dexter. At age 14, his father was fired from his job as a school guard, so he shot the deputy mayor of the town. He believed that his father was framed for stealing food from the school, so Filho also shot who the actual thief was too. He then moved to Sao Paulo, where he had a Robin Hood lifestyle, where he would rob and kill drug traffickers. They soon had their revenge though, when they killed his girlfriend, who was pregnant with his child. Filho's logic was that his gang had killed his girlfriend, so in order to exact revenge, he went on a killing spree and wiped out every single member of this gang. He was eventually captured and taken to prison, but this didn't stop him from his vigilante killing. When handcuffed and transported to another prison, he somehow managed to kill the other inmate in the prison vehicle, and this was because he was a convicted rapist. In recent years, Filho has emerged as a YouTube star known for campaigning against gang violence, which brings us to the 5 worst serial killers. Daniel.
It's like what you doing, okay, here, right? But that's not your job, though, bro. I realize, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not your job, though. You know what I'm saying? To kill them, bro. It's not your job. I'm not finna look at you like you doing something right, bro. It's not your job, bro, to take care of that. That's not your job to kill. It ain't your job, nigga. You still a killer at the end of the day. Gang members, rapists, whatever you want to say, you still a killer, nigga. So I'm not finna look at you, well, he was a rapist, so yes, he deserved it. No, you're a killer.
Camargo Barbosa. Gorgona Island was Colombia's Alcatraz, where it was seemingly impossible to escape. When Daniel Camargo...
You said I'm from China? That's offensive? Well, I mean, that is what it is. We're in America. We don't give a F. I don't think you understand about America. Like, I'm not racist to Chinese people. I'm not. You know what I mean? I was just trying to say their names, but you know, one thing about America, we don't give a F. You know what I'm saying? So in China, the thing that you look at disrespectful, we look at funny. You know what I mean? That's just how American people is. We got a dark sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all Chinese folks, you won't survive in America. Cause the things you find disrespectful, we find funny. You know what I'm saying? So ching chong, we don't find that racist. You know what I'm saying? We find that funny. You feel me? But you say we soft in America, that's what they all say until you come down here. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them foreigners, niggas that say that we soft in America, you know what I'm saying, never been to America. You know what I'm saying? Come to America, you see. You see how soft we is for real. You'll see.
Camargo Barbosa went missing from the prison. It was presumed that he had been eaten by sharks while swimming, but in reality, one of the world's most brutal killers was now on the loose. Barbosa was in prison for the rape and murder of a 9-year-old girl, but it's believed that he had actually murdered 80 girls by then. He had a twisted sexual fascination with virgins, and after one of them reported his rape, he decided to murder them afterward. Having fled prison, he moved to Ecuador. In the town of Guayaquil, he added to his death toll and raped and murdered another 72 young girls. The authorities presumed that these disappearances were the workings of a gang or cult, but then they discovered a strange man carrying a bag. In this bag was a copy of Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, bloody clothes, and a dismembered clitoris. He was later identified to be the Colombian prisoner who was believed to be the prisoner who was eaten by sharks. In fact, this man was far more deadly than any shark. Mikhail Popkov. One fateful night in the 1990s, a woman is walking alone after a night out. A police officer offers her a lift home, and it was a lovely gesture from a member of the police force. As the journey wore on, she realized he was not driving her home. In fact, she would never reach home. She was yet another victim of Mikhail Popkov. Lurking in the corner of Popkov's mind was a deep and depraved hatred of women. He was apparently assisting his hometown by helping cleanse the street of prostitutes, but it was revealed that it was...
Hate women, bro? For what reason? Did you come from a... You didn't come from a woman, but you came outside of a woman. You know what I'm saying? But is your mother a woman? You know what I'm saying? So why you hate women. You just a weirdo. And I'm saying, just keeping it real with you. Even though they out there prostitutes, whatever, you ain't got to mind them, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pay them no mind. You feel me? So, yeah, I'm not going to speak bad about you, but, you know.
Apparently assisting his hometown by helping cleanse the street of prostitutes. But it was revealed that it was not just sex workers that he was targeting. He also murdered women that went out to bars at night and got drunk and deserved to be punished. His first failing was when he didn't properly finish the job. Despite being heavily beaten and dumped in the woods, a 15-year-old recovered and made her way home. At the hospital, she identified him as the killer, but his policewoman wife provided him with an alibi. It was one careless woman's testimony against the testimony of 2 police officers. It wasn't until DNA testing technology was used in 2012 that they finally got their man, the killer of 78 women, Javed Iqbal. In December 1999, a police station in Lahore received an incredibly startling letter. A man had confessed to the rape and murder of 100 boys and gave directions to his home address. Signed at the bottom of the letter was Javed Iqbal, one of the world's most prolific serial killers. When the police arrived, they found barrels full of acid, where the mutilated remains of his victims had not yet fully dissolved. There were also board games, children's clothes, and small shoes. There was also Iqbal's diary, which detailed all of his horrific crimes. The Pakistani authorities believed that Iqbal deserved a taste of his own medicine, so in the same way he did to his victims, he was strangled, then cut up into pieces. He was cut into exactly 100 pieces, each one representing one of his victims.
The freak! He was cut up into pieces.
Deserved a taste of his own medicine, so in the same way he did to his victims, he was strangled, then cut up into pieces. He was cut into exactly 100 pieces, each one representing one of his victims. Pedro Lopez. I am the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, perhaps even a complete animal. These are the words of Pedro Lopez to police, and it's difficult to argue with his statement, other than the fact that he's only number 2 on this list. In 1969, Lopez was arrested for car theft, and while in prison, he was taken advantage of by 3 prisoners. This abuse unlocked a monster in him. He first killed the people who assaulted him, and this was believed to be self-defense, so only a few more years were added. Upon his release in 1978, he was a much more wicked man than when he went in. He began raping and murdering young girls across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru.
Dang, why did y'all make me mad, bro?
Of the Andes, after the mountain range which covered these 3 countries. A year later, a flash flood revealed 4 of his victims. He was also foiled in his attempt to adopt another girl, whose brave mother managed to stop him. During a short space of time, his murder rate managed to reach 3 figures. He was convicted of 110 murders and confessed to a further 240. In 1994, Lopez was released for good behavior. He was given a $50 bail and told to report to the police monthly. To the shock of probably nobody except the judge, he did not do this. His location since then has been unknown. He could still be out there.
This nigga is out of jail after killing 240 people. This gotta be like on some real trolling-ish right now. Ain't no way this nigga's walking the streets as today after killing 240 people. This gotta be some trolling.
Luis Garvito.
¿Por qué? Nobody cares about that, police. Police Garvito. Nobody cares about that. The crying when you in court, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Them tears, nobody cares about that. That's like, because you weren't crying when you was killing the victims, though. You weren't crying when you was committing heinous crimes. You weren't crying then. But now when you're in court, now, bullshit. No one care about that. It's in a bullshit in a cell over there. No. Oh, no, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The screaming and shouting you just heard
was not
the victim, but the perpetrator. That was the moment when Luis Garvito, the worst serial killer of all time, finally realized the evil that he had brought into the world. Born into a small town of Colombia, Garvito was one of 7 siblings and was the victim of physical and sexual abuse from his father. And during adulthood, he continued this vicious cycle of sexual abuse and molested young boys as an adult. He claims that the urge became stronger and stronger as it went on. During the late 1980s, he had to torture or molest.
Golly, bro, we got a lot of booty busters up in here, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, golly, bro. I'm saying there's a lot of freaking serial killer booty busters up here, bro.
Claims that the urge became stronger and stronger as it went on. During the late 1980s, he had to torture or molest a young boy at least once a month to satisfy these dark and depraved urges. He did this all throughout the 1970s, but did not commit his first murder until 1992. For the next few years, he went on a killing spree and was getting away scot-free every time. He would target poor neighborhoods and disguise himself as a priest or monk, offering young children jobs for them to do. Garvito's first murder to be investigated did not come until 1997. 47. The Colombian authorities got a severe wake-up call when outside the city of Pereira, they found the mass graves of 47 children. They assumed it was a satanic death cult or criminal organization. They could not believe that this was the working of a single man. Garvito confessed to murdering 140 boys, but this number was then brought up to 189. Facing prison, he finally realized what he had done. He was the worst serial killer to ever set foot on Earth. Thank you so much for watching. Please click on the other videos you see in front of you for more.
Yes, no Jeffrey Dahmer, right? I didn't even see Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, bro, to be honest, I don't think Jeffrey Dahmer has anything on these niggas. I'm gonna keep it G. These niggas, I don't think Jeffrey Dahmer has any. I don't even think he should be on this list. I'm gonna keep it G with you. These niggas was these niggas on some heinous, like this different type of issue. You know what I mean? But nah, though, man. I appreciate everybody for joining the stream, man. You know what I'm saying? We definitely went over the 3-hour mark. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with you, bro. You feel me? So this was an amazing stream today. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like I said, y'all, we back Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I just cannot wait until Sunday come. Y'all know how it is. Sunday, Sabbath day. So y'all know how it is with your boy. But man, it was an amazing stream today. Like I said, if y'all missed certain videos, you know what I'm saying, it will be transferred over to Twitch. So make sure y'all go over to YouTube after we in the stream. But it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy, feeling like bees, man. Your boy Jay out, man. Okay.